People, deluded, I'm back again. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe. As you probably gathered by now, my what's the thing called again? My camera's come, and I've made a video or made my series of videos typically back in my usual habitat, and they're actually uploading as we speak. YouTube taking the mick, it's saying 90 minutes. Nothing I can do in that regard. So I've been on my laptop. Obviously, I'm doing what I need to do today. Obviously, I can't turn off from football, neither can you. I can't turn off by the club. The club I support. That I'm currently in the stadium. Big up the visual effects. But what was I gonna say? Yeah, I've been on it, and I thought it'd be quicker than setting up everything. In fact, I can't because I've got a second memory card, but my memory card's actually full with some other videos. I'm using this video. I don't what you lot won't be able to see, but pardon me, it's plugged in and it's uploading on YouTube, and I'm doing a couple other stuff, so I'd have to wait, and I don't want to wait. Courtesy of LT Arsenal, a very good Twitter account. You know, there's a bag of good Twitter accounts. You got him, you got AFC Bell, you got David Ornstein, you got ZR Arsenal, you got Arseblog, sorry. You got Mr. Arsenate, can't forget him. You got a bag of these accounts that cover everything to do with Arsenal, you know, transfers, not just transfers, but all sorts of stuff to do with Arsenal. Even if a player's bought new socks, they're on top of it, and they do great work. LT Arsenal has said, or allegedly obtained information, or just relaying information. Apparently, Lucas Torreira's agent, speaking to TMW, says the player would like to return to Italy. Pablo Bentancur, his agent, has said, I'll have to speak to Arsenal. The player would love to return to Italy, but it must be acknowledged that Arsenal treated him very well and behaved greatly. And a lot of, you know what? One minute you hear these reports, his same agent says don't believe these reports, etc., etc. And you know it could just be nonsense. This could be old comments. I don't know the context of it. But I would say there's no smoke without fire. I do think Torreira's happy. I do think he stays. I do think Arteta wants him to be utilised. I do think you need someone like Partey and Torreira, two midfield options in the side, either or either one. But, you know, I can make case for Torreira leaving. You know, he seems to, based on what we're hearing, he's never really got to grips with life in England. He's always linked with a move. You know, you hear concerns about Arteta and his ability to play make from deep and things like that. So that would mean he might not be in the team. Obviously, if we look at the fact of it seems to be Xhaka in the team and who Xhaka is with, and, you know, if Mesut Ozil or someone plays in the 10, somebody's missing out. There is legitimate reasons. I say that he probably does want to return to Italy one day. He's spoken of Boca Juniors. Torreira himself has spoken of these rumours and quashed them. So it could just be same old rumours recycling like a lot of things. So we need to be careful. But what I will say is if he genuinely... Listen, I love Torreira. I was speaking about Torreira before he signed for this club. I think he's, you know, if I was Arsenal manager, he's one of them that plays every week for me. I genuinely believe he has the potential to play for Real Madrid or Barcelona one day. Equally, if he wants to move and he wants to keep it moving, you have to let him, man, because I'm tired of, and again, I'm not trying to rant and rave, but I'm tired of hearing things like this. You know, you're entitled to feel how you want to feel. If you think that, you know, you could do better things elsewhere, you want to return to Italy, you want to do something else, it is what it is, people. Keep it moving. Like, I want players that want to be here. It doesn't matter if you're Torreira on the contract for a couple of years. It doesn't matter if you're Aubameyang, you know, a year left and the top striker, and I'd love him to stay, you know, quality player in Saka. I don't care, bro. Like, I don't care. If you don't want to be here, F off. It's that simple. The nicest way, F off. Get out of this team. I want Arteta to have an 11 players, 25, 26-man squad of players that want to be here. If you don't want to be here, you know, move, because you know, Arsenal are not if you don't want to be here because we're not in the Champions League, cool. If you want to be here because we're not winning leagues, cool. If you don't want to be here because you don't believe in the project, you think the project's going to take too long, you feel the team is going a different way, you feel there's no progression, all of these are legitimate reasons to not want to remain at the club. I get it, but if you want to leave, sort out your thing. I know you can't sort out much right now because, you know, football hasn't got started again. You know, the transfer market, we don't know how it's going to react. We don't know what themes are going to be at the market. You know, it is what it is. If you don't want to be here, keep it moving. I badly want to keep Torreira, but if Torreira goes, you bring in Partey, it is what it is. I still think the same logic applies because, God forbid, if Partey did sign and he got injured, who plays that role? It's the same with Torreira. We're in trouble this year. Everyone's forgotten because the season's done, but Torreira got injured. We're in trouble. We're down to our bare bones of Ceballos, You know, Ceballos, Xhaka, Guendouzi, Joe Willock, these are our central midfield options, and none of them really can do what Torreira can do. The closest you probably get to that is Xhaka, because he's probably a bit more all-rounded. I want to say he's perfect at anything, but he's a bit more rounded. Like, you look at Guendouzi, he's a bit one-dimensional in certain aspects, and Joe Willock's obviously got a lot of potential, but he's a young man, and he's playing in the 10 role, so I think he can be used and excel in the pivot, and Arteta would consider him an option there. It is what it is. I badly want Torreira to stay. Equally, if he doesn't want to be here, again, you're hearing Atletico not entertaining swap deals, but, you know, you could offer him to Atletico, you know, under his countryman Simeone, in a system that would do him quite well, in a country that, while it's not Italy, Spain is more like Italy than definitely Arsenal, definitely Islington is. If he wants to move, but I have to question your integrity to a degree if this is true. Why did you move? Of course, the law of Arsenal, of course, if the team wants to sell, you want to move, but why did you leave? Why hasn't he settled? I would love to know. Is it the environment? Is it family problems? Is it just the language? Is it the culture? Who knows? Is it the toxic stuff fans have done? What is it? Either way, if he doesn't want to be here, leave. I do think a bit of this is in relation to potentially signing a new deal, because I do think Torreira is probably underpaid in relation to some of the performers. And, you know, I would say his influence is kind of waning really at Arsenal, because his first year, definite fixture, kind of got phased out by Emre. Played a lot under Arteta, lost his place at the start and got injured. So he must be, you know, a bit of it must be the fact that he's not playing and doesn't see himself. Because there's no coincidence. These are only coming now. When we was playing prior to his injury and Arteta took over, you never heard any of this sort of stuff. The closest you heard is that Arteta allegedly doesn't fancy him. Arteta kind of squashed that rumour. If you bring in Partey, it is what it is. I want players that want to be here. We haven't got time for this, pardon my language, this bitch boy stuff. Like, if you don't want to be here, get out. Because what Arsenal need to do, we've got a serious journey we need to go on. I don't know where this club is going to be in 5 years. I don't know. What I do know is that it's going to take a lot of energy. Arteta, at the very least, needs players of decent ability, but more importantly, players that effing want to be here, because it's a long journey. You look at the threat of Newcastle in 5 years' time. What's the landscape of Arsenal going to look like? Because if you was to look at it right now, yes, I love Arteta. Yes, we've got good young players. But could you confidently say Arsenal 5 years from now are going to be in a better position than Newcastle, with obviously Newcastle's new owners? You could say yes, you could say no. So what we need to do is we have a serious project. We need players that want to give 110%, because it's not going to be easy. We need to get Champions League football. We need to put in more of a fight for the Champions League. And that's going to be our objective next year. So if you're not down for that, if you're not down to help us become a Champions League team again and remain there, and then maybe in a season or two beyond that point, try and win league titles, keep it moving. Torreira's a young man, you know. It is what it is. He can move somewhere and still have a good career, man. I think Torreira's got potential, as I've said, to play for Real Madrid, Barca, Juventus, Munich, PSG, all the top bracket teams. But if he doesn't want to be here, it is what it is. I've seen Thierry Henry leave this club. Like, nothing cares. It would probably burn me. A lot of people are different. Certain people don't necessarily care about Torreira. I do, innit. Like, I like to. The world keeps spinning, innit. I like Torreira. He's one of them. If I took over from Arteta right now, you know, I look at Aubameyang, I look at Arteta, I look at Leno, and a couple of others to a degree. These are the players I'm going to use. And, you know, it is what it is. That's how I would like him. But if he keeps it moving, it's what it is, man. These players are replaceable. The last player that really burned me when he left was Alexis Sanchez, purely because he was a quality player. Then you see him turn off now. It is what it is. Good players are going to come and go. Listen, I will take a worse player that wants to be here. And obviously, I don't want players lacking ability, but I want men that want to be here. I'm tired of these. I'm sure I speak for most Arsenal fans when you say you're tired of, if it's not one player leaving, then it's the constant contract saga. Then it's all stories. And I feel what we need to do is, when stories come out about Arsenal, I don't want to hear about the gossip and drama and player bust-ups, and some players want to take cuts and some don't, and this contract and that contract, and every year something's running down. I just want to, when I think of Arsenal, I just think of Arteta. What is Arteta doing with these boys? How are we progressing? That's all I want to speak about. On-field matters. Too often than not, there's too much fairy tale and drama and EastEnders soap opera sort of thing with Arsenal. It's jarring. Like I said, I love Torreira, and these could just be rumours. So let's rein it in a bit, innit? If he does want to leave, it is what it is. You know, if he was to sell, listen, I'm not going to list all the squad, you know, all the players that are on loan and all the players in and around the squad that should be moved on or considered dead weight. But if you was to sell Torreira and Aubameyang, how much could Aubameyang go for? Probably 50 million. Torreira probably goes for about 40. That's 90 million for Thingy to do what he wants. You know, if he can bring in Torreira and another midfielder, bring in a centre half, you know, and do other things with that money, it is what it is. If Torreira comes out and Partey comes in, It is what it is. But I'm not going to lie. For me, I want a couple more, or at least 2 midfielders. They don't necessarily have to be like for like. One can be defensive mid, one can be box to box. Both can be box to box. But I think we need two of them sort of man in our team, or at least someone that can do that. Why? Because when Torreira's not here, what happens? If Partey does come, I keep saying Partey like he's a definite Arsenal player. If Partey or whoever comes in, when they get injured, suspended, loss of form, whatever you have, need rest, whatever, what happens then? Now, we're going to improve as a midfield collective, but, we haven't got too many profiles. And I think Arteta deserves the choice of having either, just for the example, either using Torreira or Partey, or potentially using them both. Games like Man City, where we need to be a bit more dynamic. We're going to, we need to win the ball back quickly. Could you go with both? Could you bring on, could one start and then one come off when one come on when we're trying to see out a game? Can you rotate more? I think we need that. We need 2 sort of men like that. We evidently as well, just as important, we need someone that can break the lines, a modern day creative midfielder. More important than that, folks, we need people that ever want to be at this club. So I'm not going to bore you lot with anything else, man. I don't want to read too much into it. It is what it is. If he wants to leave, go. If you want to stay, stay. I haven't got time for this anymore, really and truly. There's not much I can change, but it does frustrate me. You don't know me, I don't rant and rave. One thing that I really hate is people not down for the cause. And again, Torreira hasn't come out himself and said he wants to leave. And if he does leave, man, like, AC Milan, Napoli, all these teams were in for you before Arsenal. All these teams are still linked with you. If you want to go, go. For Bami and you want to leave, leave. Listen, I love Bukayo Saka, but if you have any doubt about staying at this club, please, with all due respect, leave. Everybody who don't want to be at this club, keep it moving. I don't care if Arsenal remain ninth and we become a relegation team. Of course, it would burn me. But more often than not, I want to see, and I'm not saying Torreira or any of these players lack commitment, because you can want to leave a team and still show professionalism. But what I want to see on a match day is 11 men on that field that cherish playing for this club, that want to die playing for this club, because it doesn't matter where Arsenal is. Yeah, listen, it doesn't matter. And this can go for United, this can go for many teams. It doesn't matter. This team is a seriously, we're falling off. We're falling off. We're a bit of a joke, but we're still an effing big club with a big history, and this badge is a massive badge to wear. That's why you think I even got it on. I got the Brazil thing. It's too heavy for me. But on a serious note, it's a massive badge. If you don't want to be here, if you think the shirt is too heavy, hand in your P45. We'll wish you all the best for your duration of your stay at Islington, Gillespie Road, the Arsenal M5. If not, and if that's what you want, deal with it. If you go where you want to go, man, because I just want to watch 11 players that consider themselves lucky to be here. I do think there's been too much complacency playing for this club. Even when we was in the Champions League, it's been too easy playing for this club. People don't cherish it and behave like, this can be lost in a second. I got to give my all. People act like chances are coming again and again. And Arteta is fully aware of that. So any player that wants to leave, with all due respect, please keep it moving. That's all I've got to say. I'm going to keep it moving myself. People, if you've got any comments, please comment, like, subscribe, share the video, do the rest. More importantly than that, stay safe in this time of need for everybody, and make sure your family is doing the same. And yeah, man, use this time to improve yourself and learn any skills, or just make some movements in relation to personal development. On that note, though, I'm not going to bore you lot. I'm going to get out of here. People, DG.